All right, everybody. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us tonight for this edition of Folk You. It's actually our 37th remote edition, which I just realized a moment ago. I've been keeping semi-scrupulous notes. And for those that may not have tuned in before, this is a singer-songwriter round robin that has been going on here in the greater Chicagoland area for over 21 years. We're in the middle of the 21st year right now, which is every time I say it, sounds pretty incredible. Didn't think I'd still be doing this 21 years later, but I'm happy that I am. And I have been your host for those 21 years, Larry O'Dean. I am thrilled to have two returning Folk You. I guess you're both Folk You regulars. I could say that. I think you've both appeared enough to earn that title. Adele Nicholas and Simon Peebler. I'll give the official host welcome. And while I have a moment here, let me give the quick spiel about my interpretation of what a round robin is. And Adele and Simon, then you can add anything or correct me since you're familiar with my approach. But a round robin is an opportunity for songwriters to get together and to play material that they've either written on their own or co-written, so original material. The difference with round robins is that there's more than, a handful of performers, and these mini sets occur where, for example, I'm going to start tonight and I'll play a couple songs, and then I will let Adele come in and she'll play a couple of songs. Then it goes on to Simon, and if there were more people, it would continue until it comes around again. Thus, the title round robin. And that's pretty much the way we've done it since this thing started 21 plus years ago. I think the first show had like a big draw, like maybe 5 or 6 performers, shockingly. And then over the years, it stuck at 4 for a while, which isn't bad. And then it's come down to 3, which I think is a pretty good number for something like this. Does that sound about right, Adele and Simon, from your past folking of you and everyone else? All right. So I think I'm good to go. Do either of you have anything to say before I bid you semi-adieu to go down to the waiting zone?
Let's do it.
All right. I like that attitude.
Let's roll. Let's go.
All right. Whew, I like it. All right. So Adele, I will see you soon. Let me put you down into the zone. And Simon, see you soonish. I say this every month. I think they're both so relieved that that little intro part is over, and that we are just good to go. I'm always feeling, 37 shows in, whether it's in person or this recorded or this remote version and recorded version, I'm always thinking I'm forgetting something. So if I did, I'll make sure to come back and add it. But for now, let me get this thing going. And I was also mentioning to, I think primarily to Adele, that I'm coming. We're all coming to you from the greater Chicagoland area, all from the city, I think. And I live in Uptown, and we've had like a pretty pleasant summer by my reckoning of summer. I'm probably in the minority here. Summer's my least favorite season. I mean, I teach, so I like having some time off in the summer, although teachers don't really ever have time off. But it's just the heat, the Midwest heat I don't like it. But this summer has been really mild, and today the sun is, going down back there. It's kind of beautiful. So I got the window cracked, but we could hear some of the sounds of Uptown, which can sometimes be a little daunting. So if it should get too nutty, I'll close the window. But for now, I think we're going to be all right. So I am going to begin. For the set I came up with for tonight, I went with some older stuff. In fact, 1 or 2 things that have not played in a long, long time. Just struck me that I should. And then I think everything else is stuff that's earmarked for the next Injured Parties album. That's my band. We have 2 albums, and this is a third one in the works. And this first song is one of the tracks that will appear on it. It's called My First Pandemic. And guess what that's all about? Yeah, if I think of anything else to add about it, I will say it afterward. But for now, let's get this party started. My First Pandemic. Hey there, I need some advice, something I have to ask. Considering the state we're in, do I have to wear a mask? It's my first pandemic, nothing to compare it to. It's my first pandemic, what the hell am I supposed to do? Should I hoard cans of beans, stack them into a wall? At least I can have some privacy until I eat them all. It's my first pandemic, nothing to compare it to. It's my first pandemic, what the hell am I supposed to do? When can I get back to doing all those things that I've done without ever thinking about it? I want to have my fun. 6 feet of social distance seems like a lot to me. I miss hugging my neighbor, even if I don't want to be. It's my first pandemic, nothing to compare it to. It's my first pandemic, what the hell am I supposed to do? It's my first pandemic, nothing to compare it to. It's my first pandemic, what the hell am I supposed to do? 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 I'm missing that amp noise. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. My first pandemic. And I screwed up a line in here, which of course no one would know is a minor screw up, but I miss hugging my neighbors even if they don't want to be. And I think I say even if I don't want to be. So either I was like revealing like an emotional nuance that I had not recognized was in the song, but it kind of screws it up from the standpoint of the inspiration for the song was in the pandemic, yes, but in the early days of the pandemic, I live in a high-rise building and had this one neighbor who I don't know. I've since learned more about him than I wanted to know, than I've ever wanted to know. But who was just like a real dick about the whole thing. He wouldn't wear a mask, and he would constantly look at people and say, "I'm not sick," and like he was ready. And of course, it's like, well, how do you know? And then when he finally did, through the management here or whatever, wear a mask, he would like hold it up to his face. He wouldn't put it on. And it's like, it was nightmarish. So the whole idea of, I miss hugging my neighbors, because this guy was normally so effusive, real friendly, but in this kind of weird energy way. So that sort of interaction with people, and then him in particular, finally inspired me to write something about being in the midst of the pandemic. So the next song I'm going to do is one of the ones I have not played in a long time. So if there's probably no mystery that, I've got like some notes off to the side, got lyrics here, and this one I most definitely need. Others, it's debatable, and I have my moments when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with this, but this one I'm absolutely not. I'm going to do it anyway, though. And it is from a band I was in called Post Office. It's a Steve Walters cover there. Excellent poster artist and so much more than that. And this has all the earmarks of Steve. You can see he's got kind of these cool pictures on the back as well. I'm trying to get this so you can't see the reflection. Yeah. And wow, this album's about 20 years old. Post Office did 2 albums, and this is the first time that I worked with, I would go out on a limb and say, the great Chris Stamey from the DBs, and he produced that album. And this song is called Anhedonia. And I'm going to play it for you. She's always sleeping in late, even when the weather's nice. She says don't be an ingrate, and I don't need your advice. My sweet Anhedonia, don't wanna do nothing at all. My fair Anhedonia, don't wanna do nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. She's somehow lost her stamina, sitting on the couch watching TV. She acts just like my grandma, but she's only 23. My sweet Anhedonia, don't wanna do nothing at all. My fair Anhedonia, don't wanna do nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And the doctors can't do anything. Who specialize in the mind? They tell me it's up to her. Don't wanna get back to the daily grind. To the daily grind. says it's just a phase. Newlyweds go through as she lies there in a daze. There ain't nothing I can do to my sweet Anadonia. Don't wanna do nothing at all. My fair Anadonia. Don't wanna do nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
That was awesome, Larry. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
Those were both new to me.
I'm sorry?
Those were both new to me.
Oh, okay. Oh, you anticipated my question. You hadn't heard the Pandemic song. Okay.
I have not.
Okay.
Or at least there are definitely songs of yours that I recognize when I hear them. I think those were new to me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the of course the Pandemic one got a lot of, play once I had written it, and then I was like, well, I can't keep playing this, and then it moved out of this set. And then the Post Office song I haven't played in forever. And used to play it at Folk U a ton. And then of course when Post Office played, we always played it. It's just, how this stuff is, you want to move in new stuff, but also just get a little tired of playing certain songs. So good. Well, I'm glad. And I'm looking forward to hearing your stuff tonight. You were saying, do you remember approximately when the last time was you did play this? Was it within the last year? No.
It was, this year ago. I think it was before my record came out, because I released a record with my band Axons in April of 2022.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds right.
Before that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And because I know looking at the postings on social media and stuff, you're saying you have some new stuff for tonight. So
yeah.
All right. Well, then I will let you get on with it. Glad to have you here. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time around.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Nice to be here again. Thanks for having me, Larry. I am going to start with a new one that I recently wrote. It's kind of, I'm a lawyer during the day, and I have to deal a lot with the Illinois Department of Corrections. And I recently wrote a kind of silly, forlorn love song about one of the people who works at the Department of Corrections, who's really one of the only people who consistently answers her phone and returns her phone calls when I leave her a voicemail trying to talk to one of my clients. And I was very disappointed that she moved on to a new job. So I wrote a kind of silly, forlorn love song inspired by that, which is called Fax Me. Girl, I've got your name on speed dial. You're the witness that I call when I find myself on trial. I know I'm not the only one who knows your number by heart, but when I can't reach you, my better instincts fall apart. Every single thing you do attracts me. You know that I'm begging you to fax me. Honey, all you have to do is ask me. I'm sitting here waiting on you to fax me. There's lots of other girls who might try to take your place. There's no one else I trust when I'm facing down a case. All my friends tell me that it's past time to move on, but let You know that I'm begging you to fax me. Honey, all you have to do is ask me. I'm sitting here waiting on you to fax me. I know she's gone and she's never coming back. You got catch a glimpse of her, giving me a heart attack. Every single thing you do attracts me. You know that I'm begging you to fax me. Honey, all you have to do is ask me. I'm sitting here waiting on you to fax me. Sitting here waiting on you to fax me. All right. Next one I will play, let's see. I wrote one called Black Intoxication, which is a phrase that I borrowed from the Milan Kundera book, The Unbearable Lightness of Being. And it was what the main character talked about, this feeling he had when he had kind of abandoned his responsibilities and was doing the wrong thing, but it was what he wanted to do. And I've always found something poetic about that idea. And of course, I wrote this song about 2 days before Milan Kundera died. And so I apologize if I accidentally killed him. I did not intend to. Anyway, this song is called Black Intoxication. Think about the wrong thing until it makes you sick. The nauseous a feeling that I try not to resist. And I know it's not about me. It's about your dad, and it's about the kind of crisis that it might be time to have. The black intoxication of the void calling your name, reaching towards something higher than whatever this became. Sometimes I think the hunger is an end in itself, temporary madness that needs to be wrung out, and you walk along a tightrope that you strung over the rift. The adrenaline distracts you from the chaos that you risk, and the black intoxication of the void calling your name, reaching towards something higher than whatever this became. Black intoxication of the void calling your name, reaching towards something higher than whatever this became. The black intoxication of the void calling your name, reaching towards something higher than whatever this became. Thanks.
Nice. That's a very clever, like black intoxication. I hadn't kind of heard that phrase before, so it is beautiful for a centerpiece of a song. So
Thanks. Yeah, I've always really liked that whole passage of that book, and it's been fodder for writing songs for a very long time. So it was kind of strange that like he died quite suddenly after I finished that song, so it was weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it.
Well, now at least I have a story to tell about the creation.
Yeah, that's very cool. So yeah, I enjoyed your songs, and I was laughing the whole first one because we've all been in that situation where we've had somebody we worked with who made everything great, and then they left, and we were like, "Oh no, what do we do now?"
Yeah, it's disappointing for sure. All right, well, I'm looking forward to hearing your songs.
Cool, thanks, Adele. Hi, everybody. I'm just gonna get right into it, and thank you for tuning in. And in thinking about folk music, I think about the length of time I've been able to actually kind of be involved with the series, and very early on, it's I was kind of a late starter in the songwriting thing, and so about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, I started writing a bunch of songs, and including the next two. But I wrote this one while in Avondale in Chicago, standing over the Addison Street Bridge looking at the Chicago River. See the canoe man, follow the river bend, under concrete and steel bridge. The winter chill disappears, murky water ripples blue-gray sky, background rumble of the city grind. And she said, lean over water to get the most light, take a deep breath, spring is here. Lean over water to get the most light, take a deep breath, spring is here. Ripples round man-made rocks, pathway to the shore, caution sign, tiny words, dog prints in the mud, a few dead leaves left on branches, left over from heaven. She said, lean over water to get the most light, take a deep breath, spring is here. Lean over water to get the most light, take a deep breath, spring is here. Follow the river bend, follow the river bend, follow the river bend, follow the river bend. Let's Follow the River Bend from Eponymous. Yeah. The first album project I did came out in 2011, and it was called Follow the River Bend. And it was also shortly after that, the next year, that I wrote this song. And I wrote it for a big birthday in my life, and 10 years later, it's equally valid and equally stressful and wonderful all at the same time. It's my birthday, made it here again. I've been around the sun many times, riding with my friends. When they said tomorrow would never come, I always knew I'd find my birthday home. It's my birthday, made it here again. I hope I'm here for a long, long time, with what's left of my friends. Close your eyes and for a moment be here with me. Now look into the nighttime sky. Forget everything you know. We're breathing in stardust now in our birthday home. When they said tomorrow would never come, I always knew I'd find my birthday home. When they said tomorrow would never come, I always knew I'd find my birthday home.
I was hanging to make sure I didn't leap in a little too soon.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so the quick story was, I think I played it 10 years ago with you on one of the many various bars and other locales that are no longer in operation. So for some previous folk you, and I just turned 40, or I had it was just about the time I turned 40, and so this February I managed to reach 50. So. Which at one point in life seemed like an incredibly old age, and now it seems like I'm just getting started.
Yeah, I think 50 is like the new whatever 30. You know, I mean, I think you could even safely add more than 10 years or subtract more than 10 years from that. Age is like, I mean, definitely people can fly in the face of this, but it's just in my lifetime, that's all changed. You know, I think, I don't know. It's not necessarily people are living better. Maybe they are, but you know, it's not just genetics, you know?
No, well, we're all very we're all very now focused on the feed and the timeline, and so our context window of the passage of events is very different now because of the technologies, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I totally sympathize. I guess that's the simplest way to put it. But I have to say, I always love your stuff. I love your voice. You're actually positioned really nicely where you're at. I didn't realize that when we were setting up the show initially. You have the curtains behind you. You have this like little. It's almost like it's like a little stage you pulled out there intentionally. My guess is that's not the case.
It was totally. It's like the least kind of messy, cluttered area. And while I love clutter, and I love, for example, books and music and
Clutter.
lots of and magazines and everything else. You know, it's and I have plenty of those stacks, believe me.
Yeah.
But this happened to be the quiet corner, and I think it's now permanently going to be a little stage for me. So.
Oh, I like it. You made a smart move, I think. Yeah, and I mean, even the acoustics sound really nice there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, well, once again, thank you so much for being here. It's always good to hear you, and I'm looking forward to hearing some more.
Awesome. Thanks, Larry.
All right. I'll see you in a little bit. Now you can relax and catch you in a bit.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, we have first pass done. And again, thanks to Adele and Simon for being here tonight. And I love them both. Great songwriters, very straightforward, good players. I mean, it's not always I had a friend who used to say, "Oh, it's not a contest," all the time about stuff, which I thought was pretty hilarious and pretty apt. But watching both of them play, I realized kind of how primitive I am. I think I get. I'm certainly much more comfortable with with everything about my musical stuff, but it's a pleasure to watch them play, I guess is what I'm getting at. And it just, reflects on my own, maybe over busy style sometimes, which may be on display in the song. And again, maybe not. The next two that I have lined up are both Injured Party songs that are going to be on this album that we're going to record as soon as we're ready. Still kind of pulling it together, because when these two songs were written, it's just me sitting down and writing. And I've certainly done solo stuff in the past. In fact, my earliest recordings were completely solo, and 4-track recordings when I was playing everything myself and that kind of thing. And that has its challenges and its pleasures, but I'm even from the early days when I was like, all right, I guess I'm a songwriter, I was always most interested to get other people to play on it because I wanted to see what they would bring to it. So again, a rather long-winded way for me to say that when these two songs were originally finished, I was kind of excited to bring them to the band and see what they would do with them. And my playing of them has adjusted a little bit as well. I dare say it's probably gotten better based on what those my two bandmates bring to the mix now. So this one, I'm not going to say the title. I think it will become apparent when we get to the first chorus. I don't think I can, keep the title away from the album when it eventually comes out, but it's like delaying it hopefully will be worthwhile. Let's put it that way. Here we go. but it's worse than I feared. You call it a midlife crisis, all that it entails. Instead of leasing the Jaguar, you've been blasting out emails. Don't send me your dick pics. For them I never asked. Don't send me your dick pics, or I'll just have to send them back. Don't you find it inappropriate? Doesn't it seem kinda wrong? Dumb using a smartphone and texting me your schlong. It's not that I am prudish, I keep an open mind, but when opening an attachment, it's not a dick I hope to find. Don't send me your dick pics. Don't send them to me. Don't send me your dick pics. It's something I just can't unsee. Maybe you need a vacation. You've been working every day. I never guessed that over time was being used in quite this way. This way. Lesson. This kind of thing won't do. I expect to never again receive any dick pics from you. And if the urge should strike, you shouldn't snort and scoff. And maybe the only answer then is to chop that dick right off. Don't send me your dick pics. For them I never asked. Don't send me your dick pics, or I'll just have to send them back. Or I'll just have to send them back. Or I'll just have to send one back. Okay. Well, yes, indeed, that is dick pics. So you can see maybe why I wanted to hold off on that, revealing the chorus for that. Setting the expectations either high or low, depending on what you think. So yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward. This next song, again, another Injured Parties song earmarked for this new record. It's called Victor's Gonna Vape. And, you know, we were practicing the other night, the band, and smoking came up or whatever. And it was kind of like, oh, wait, did you ever smoke? I know what it was. We were talking about, oh, yeah, I remember playing the gigs and everyone was smoking. And I was talking about, oh, yeah, I grew up, extended family, everybody smoked. And I remember being a little kid and it was like, mist in the house, it was horrible. And coming back from gigs and be like, oh, because I just really never smoked except for, 2 seconds when I thought it was cool. But vaping is kind of, I can't quite wrap my head around it. And so, of course, you never know what will inspire a song. It's not like I sat down necessarily, must write a vape song. And then when I got like the first verse or the first images for the song came together, it actually became like a research opportunity. And I was like, yeah, vaping, how long has that been a thing? And so this is a very informative song, and I learned things I did not know. And the last thing I'll say before I play it is that at one point, I changed the name to Sean's Gonna Vape because of Sean Hannity. And there was this footage of him. First, he's an asshole to start with, but there was this footage of him like vaping like insanely online. But then I was like, no, I'm not gonna sully the song by making a Hannity reference. So it went back to being Victor. And I think I can picture Victor vaping. All right, so let me let it rip and hope you like it. Again, this is a new one to be recorded by the Injured Parties for our forthcoming third album. Who's that boy with clouds in his mouth? Opens it up and junk comes pouring out. Can't see his face hidden behind a screen. A fruity formaldehyde and nicotine. Victor's gonna vape. There he goes. Turning it on, that he blows. It's not peer pressure that makes him puff, and he only vapes until he's vaped enough. It's a delicate buzz, it's a sublime high. Smoke rising up like cherubs to the sky. Victor's gonna vape, he can't stop. Hit after hit, till he drops. Back in Shenyang in 2003, a Chinese pharmacist made a discovery. All that e-liquid has flooded the globe. We're surfing a tsunami of particulate smoke. Victor's gonna vape. There he goes. Turning it on. There he blows. Victor's got a vape. He can't stop. Head to hit till he drops. Oh, hold on one sec there, Adele. Let me just make a little. Okay.
I really enjoyed that.
Oh.
It reminds me, a couple summers ago, I was riding my bicycle to meet a friend, and I was riding through one of the more like populous neighborhoods where a lot of young people were out at bars, and I had this realization. I don't like to think of myself as too old for new experiences, but on that bike ride, I realized there were two things that I was too old for. One was ever getting on one of those little motorized scooters.
Oh.
Not doing that. And the other was vaping. I'm like, I just can't see myself taking that up.
No. Were you ever a smoker? You're not a smoker now, or
No, I mean, like dabbled, never really got into it.
I love that dabbled. Yes, actually, what I remember, doing, which my smoking memory is, hanging with my, for lack of a better term, hipster friends in high school, and it was like, I guess we should smoke, and so we went to the like a gas station, and we went in and we said, "What's the brand of cigarette that sells the least?" and the guy, like, he had to ask me, what are you asking? And I said, what is the one brand of cigarette that sells the least? And I remember exactly, it was Philip Morris Commandos. And it's like, I had never even heard of it, and he proceeded to pull it down. It was a gas station. He reached and pulled it, and he actually blew dust off the packet. So when he did that, I was like, oh, this is the right choice for sure. Right. And it's probably just been like the hot dog at the movie theater. That's just the one sitting in there that's been there forever.
Yeah.
And so they were pretty awful. I'll say that much. Maybe inherently I just knew that if I was not going to ever smoke if I started with the Philip Morris Commandos.
There you go.
But I worked my way through the whole pack and then made some half-hearted Gauloise try at one point. I went to the other end of the spectrum. Didn't take.
It's for the best.
Yes. So had you heard, I mean, in either of those?
I'd heard the "Don't Send Me Your Dick Pic," and I when you said, "Hey, I'm not gonna give it away," I thought it's probably that one.
Probably that one. Yeah. You hadn't heard the vaping song, though?
I had not.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I loved your first set.
Thanks.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing what you've got for us next.
Appreciate that.
All right, let me get out of here and see you on the last pass.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I'll play a couple more new ones. This first one is about what we leave behind and when we die, and what we think we might influence the people that we leave behind to do, and what we can't influence them to do. It is called junk removal. Conspired over their dying dad's head in defiance of his final testament. When he's gone, they're gonna sell the land. Great Lakes Homes will buy your house as is. They don't think about the junk you left within. A handshake at arm's length, it's basically a fair exchange. They know that death is for the ones who live. To inscribe your epitaph, can't hold a grudge on your behalf. I know you like to keep control. Finished projects left behind, not the revenge you had in mind. Take it with you when you go. A roadside sign peeking above the grass. Promises you junk removal cheap and fast. The records you maintain, the trace of losing campaigns. They don't think about stories of of your past. Those who describe your epitaph can't hold a grudge on your behalf. I know you like to keep control. Finished projects left behind, not the revenge you had in mind. You'll take it with you when you go. Take it with you when you go. You'll take it with you when you go. All right, I'll play another new one. This one is called Humming in the Background. I'm a person who has lived with a chronic illness. I have MS, and I've had it for a long time. And, I do okay with it. It's not terrible. And I think a lot about how having an illness can kind of change your relationship with your body. And I recently was listening to a podcast with an author that I really like, Lionel Shriver. And she said something that, for all of her great insight about people and human nature, she said something that I thought was profoundly stupid, which was if she experienced some loss of vigor and was no longer able to play tennis, she would have no quality of life and would like to have medically assisted suicide. And I thought that was obviously not true. It is human nature to keep carrying on and wanting to keep going, even if things go wrong with your body. So this song is about that. You're riding a bicycle and then you're not. Think you ought to take a run, you're barely up for a walk. It's coming, but you won't want to die. It's just humming in the background for the rest of your life. Keep carrying on in defiance of the fact it's an illusion, a choice, so I choose not to react. Keep carrying on, imagining we're exempt. We all get there in the end. Try to delay the feeling, preserve yourself with thoughts. It unravels so slowly, it's hard to notice the loss. Do you still feel like a person? Is it still your home? Best to accept your sentence, there's nowhere else you can go. Keep carrying on in defiance of the facts. It's an illusion, a choice, so I choose not to react. Keep stumbling along, imagining we're exempt. We all get there in the end. I heard somebody say, thoughts are just thoughts. I heard their meaning was that stop. I heard somebody say, so keep carrying on in defiance of the facts. It's an illusion of choice, so I choose not to react. Keep stumbling along, imagining we're exempt. We all get there in the end. We all get there in the end. We all get there in the end.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Appreciate it.
And it's like the perfect snapshot of something that's very personal for you, but it's also like 100% relatable, even if you're not dealing with something that's chronic. But we all are in the end. So yeah, beautiful songs.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I really loved your songs too. You have a great voice. Yeah.
I loved the melodic instrumental hook for that last song. It just adds like a total. I need to do more stuff like that. So it was a good reminder. I made a note to myself.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Be more like Adele. Okay.
Trying to get a little pinky exercise in there.
Yeah. Cool.
Great.
Thanks.
Looking forward to hearing your next one.
We're back to me. I have two songs, and then we'll continuing the cycle kind of one more time with one song apiece. I'm just going to play this song, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it. Too many moving parts, too many screens, too many buttons on the machine, too many options, too many commands, too many features buried in the sand. We must get back to fire and steam. We must find our way back to natural things. Give me a stick from a forest tree, and I'll make a fire in a bed out of leaves. Give me a flowering tree with fruit I can pull, and I'll delight in the taste of real apple. We must get back to fire and steam. We must find a way back to natural things. Give me a sunset, give me a waterfall, give me stormy weather, wake up when the birds call. Give me your hand, give me your time, give me your tenderness, and I'll give you mine. We must get back to fire and steam. We must find a way back to natural things. We must get back to fire and steam. We're heading back to simpler things. This song, Fire and Steam, was part of my last album, also called Fire and Steam. And I am definitely pro technology. I'm interested in the latest technology releases. I follow all the AI news that's happening because I think it has a profound impact on what we do and who we are as human beings. And I don't think it's avoidable, but I think that we can make some choices to stay grounded. And that's what that song is kind of about. So I'm going to play a newer song. It's not new, but it's one that so we'll see how it goes. This is not in the blueprints. It's not what they were told. It'll fail inspection. It'll remain unsold. If you wear different colors, think about unusual things. Prefer a hand-tied knot to a platinum ring. They will raise the red flags. They will call the police. Speak proper authority. Dismantle everything. You have every reason to play the part you've been assigned, but you don't have the heart to stay inside the lines. Never, ever stay inside the lines. Do you want protection? Do you want to be safe? Remain unmolested. Will you change your ways? Do you walk on the wrong side? Spork instead of knife. Button rather than zipper. Tan in the moonlight. You make up your own rules. You live like it's yours to break. You decide how to proceed. Coaching your own plays. You have every reason to play the part you've been assigned, but you don't have the heart to stay inside the lines. Never, ever stay inside the lines. You have every reason to play the part you've been assigned, but you don't have the heart to stay inside the lines. Never, ever stay inside the lines.
Nicely done.
Larry, did you ever do coloring books when you were a kid?
Yeah.
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 I always was finding ways to do stuff outside of where I was supposed to color in. And so that's part of the genesis of that song. Plus, kids, when they're first presented with an option to decorate a coloring page, and you see the scribbles, they're not doing it wrong. So in and out of the design, their own world they're making. So yeah, that's good advice.
Do you remember being criticized for like going outside the lines or anything like that?
I do, and I remember that the next assignment, I stayed inside the lines, but I drew. So let's say that there was like the center of a bunny's chest or something, like their overalls. Mm-hmm. I made smaller and smaller overalls inside of the overall design. So
that's great.
I was always subversive, even from day one, I think.
Were your parents encouraging of that?
Yes. You know the story you told about the smoke and the haze of smoke in the house?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that with my birth family, and they, but it wasn't all cigarettes. So, so
gotcha.
That yeah, drugs are bad, kids.
Yeah, you know, something as simple as, you know, I don't have kids, you know, and when I was younger, my original talent, air quotes, you know, was drawing, you know, and at one point I just kind of stopped doing that. You know, I always liked reading, and, you know, I always liked writing stuff too. That was along with it. But for a while I was pursuing drawing as an avocation. And then at one point I just like kind of stopped doing it. I still do stuff with it, although not to the extent that I had a drawing desk and the whole thing. So this is not about me, but it just kind of reminds me of this whole thing, is that it always stunned me, even at a young age, how sometimes if we're talking about like a coloring book, how I'd hear parents criticizing their kids for like not staying in the lines, or for like, oh, you can't, you know, rabbits aren't purple, you know, and I'd be like, you know, if cognizant from a fairly young age of like, who's to say, you know, what color a rabbit is, or what's the point? The point here is for them to just, you know, express themselves, to have fun.
Yeah, universally.
Who cares about this other stuff? But it reveals a lot about the people.
Yeah, our best artists, our best poets and visual artists and musicians are always going to be the like 2 and 3 year olds, who are in the corner humming a song to themselves that they've invented, and it's only when we crap on them for being creative people that we kill that. So, and I know that you've done a lot of work in education and as an educator and poet in working with kids, and so you see this all the time.
They're the best.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, their minds are just completely open to everything.
Yep.
And then, like, you know, in the worst case scenario, in the less worst case scenario, they progress along and then they get more serious about other things, and they just start to think a little bit more rigidly, which is probably not so bad in the big picture. But to just see them when it's completely unfettered, and just it's not even that they were to continue being writers, but it's just like to tap into that element, the creative element, whatever it is. It's just like it so has to be encouraged.
Yep. And it's probably more than any other activity. It's what distinguishes us from lots of other things in the universe. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, sounded really beautiful, and I echo Adele's sentiment about your voice. And it reminded me there's a songwriter, and this is a friend of mine, although I haven't seen him in a long time, based out of Los Angeles, named Chris Hickey, and he's not well known, but you sound a lot like him.
Oh, that's cool.
I highly recommend that everybody Google him, look into his stuff. He's got a very not by design. He's not as well known as he should be. Let me put it this way. But it's your voice, it's even the quality of the songwriting, but he's definitely doing a lot of things differently from you. But voice. And I don't think I've ever made that connection before. So if you remember to do this later, look him up. I will listen and tell me if I'm completely off base. Or not. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, I will let you get a breather and then look forward to hearing you on the last pass.
Okay. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you. Yeah. Chris Hickey. Great. Not as good as Simon Peebler, but okay. So thanks to everybody for hanging in there. Again, I'll save the official big thankses for Adele and Simon at the end. I've got one more for you. Trustee Martin. And I said I kind of dug into the oeuvre, a word I love to use and would only use in this context, and pulled out some older songs. And this one is pretty confident, even older than the other one that I know for sure it's older than Anadonia. And this is called Dawning on Your Face. And this is a song that the more official version of it, and I don't have a disc or anything to show because the more official version of this is with a band I was in San Francisco called the Fuss Budgets. And we recorded what was going to be a first album, but I think it was more or less, it was kind of between that and like an official demo. We got the studio and it's like, all right, let's do this. And the definitive version of it then appears on this our first album, which is called Hogwash. And it was an earlier version of it as well that I recorded on a digital only album of mine called Lovers Emeritus. I had to look this stuff all up because as I mentioned earlier, my earliest recording stuff was for all these 4-track recordings that at one point I became aware of how this stuff might be lost if I'm not careful. I'm trying to be pretty good at preserving the things that I happen to have that are on mediums such as tape. But I just thought, well, this stuff could all go away at one point. So I had this about 10 years ago, this mass digital endeavor occurred. And the Fuss Budget stuff, we never put that stuff out officially. We did cassette releases in the early days. And then the version that I recorded of this song was on this album that was like a compilation album that was only digital stuff. So I don't have an image to show you, but both the versions are pretty close to this, except when I listened a little bit to the earlier Larry Odine version, it had this kind of twangier take to it, which I'd forgotten all about, but I'm playing the more straightforward poppier version of it now, which is more of the definitive version. So anyway, this is Dawning on Your Face, and thanks for being here and listening tonight. Another one I've got to really refer to because I haven't played this in a long time. conviction, held it to your heart. Now you mope around all day, linger on what fell apart. I need to tell you now, failure's no disgrace. I see that slow, sad realization dawning on your face, dawning on your face. Past is far behind us, we can't retrieve what's gone. So you made some bad decisions, it's time to move on. I need to tell you now, failure's no disgrace. I see that slow, sad realization dawning on your face, dawning on your face. Good advice once, don't wallow in despair. So go ahead now and draw the curtains and get up from your easy chair. I need to tell you now, failure's no disgrace. I see that slow, sad realization dawning on your face, dawning on your face. I need to tell you now, failure's no disgrace. You see that slow, happy realization dawning on your face, dawning on your face.
All right. Love it.
Whew. Well, you most definitely have not heard that.
Definitely new to me.
Yeah. I think the only times that I would pull that out would be. Did you ever play International Pop Overthrow when it would?
No, but I've gone to it.
Yeah. So, the of course during the pandemic I didn't play, and then it came back, and I wasn't ready to do that yet. But anyway, that whenever I would play a solo show, because the Injure Parties have played too, that one invariably would come to mind, because I tried to think of, well, David's pretty open to songwriter stuff, but I had to really dig into the pop stuff. And I think having not played that in a long time, I realized how much I love the power of going to that open, E major chord and hitting it. So today when I sat down, I just was flipping through stuff and I was like, oh yeah, got to do it. Although I think that might have also been back when I was less inclined to be writing persona songs. And so this one is probably somewhat reflective of the young Larry O'Dean, who no longer exists. So, sometimes it's kind of like, well, I don't know, of course I can sing it, and of course I could maybe pass it off, but there's a lot of stuff I just can't play anymore. Yeah, you're nodding. I think you understand. But this one somehow I can make allowances for. So hopefully it was okay.
Yeah, it sounded great.
Oh, thank you. All right, so looking forward to hearing your last number, sad as that is to say. and then we'll see you again at the end when we reconvene and set off the fireworks.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks.
Great. I'll play one from a record that I released last year with my band. The record, which you can see here on cassette. Oh, a little too bright, too much reflection. There we go. It's called I Object to Everything. It is a concept album inspired by the true story of how two people escaped from the Metropolitan Correctional Center in downtown Chicago by scraping through a concrete wall and rappelling down the side of the building on a rope made out of bed sheets and dental floss. So the record, I wouldn't say it's the true story, but it's inspired by that story. It draws on the parts of it that are known. It imagines other parts of it. The song I'm going to play is called Close Enough to Dream. And this is a song about one of the guys who escaped, how he made efforts to try to get out of the country and was ultimately unsuccessful, but almost did it. A disconcerting sight, my face, unwanted poster, exhausted mugshot of a man backed in a corner. The patrons pay no mind to the menacing simulacrum, a face that isn't mine. It's a person I've turned away from. I got close enough to dream of a life free from this drama, so close that I could see the streets of Tijuana. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No one looks up when the screen flashes my specter. Newscaster softly says the accomplice has been captured on a California day. This news barely affects me. 2,000 miles away, no one would suspect me. I got close enough to dream of a life free from this drama, so close that I could see the streets of Tijuana. Agents at Otay Mesa take me into custody. I couldn't cross without a passport or ID. 6 hours in the pen, a divine intervention. They cut me loose again on the verge of apprehension. I got close enough to dream of a life freed from this drama. Got so close that I could see the streets of Tijuana. At San Ysidro had my alibi in order, spending the afternoon with friends across the border. I got close enough to dream of a life free from this drama. Got so close that I could see the streets of Tijuana.
Yeah. So now I'm really curious. So many, there are so many questions. I think that to answer the questions, I have to get, I object to everything. your album that came out last year, and I doubt I will object to anything that I hear. So I'm boy, that is a fun topic, and what a crazy subject to tackle.
Yeah, well, I think a lot about what attracted me to it, and part of it is that I do complicated civil rights issues involving a lot of people who are in prison, and something just impressed me and grabbed me about the idea of two people who just said, like, all of this, like, not doing it. And, that of course had horrible consequences for both of them. They're in a really horrible prison now, and will be for a long time. But the story is endlessly interesting. And so I wrote 11 songs about it.
That's really super awesome. I can't wait to check it out after we finish the setup. So nice meeting you, and I'll see you in a minute after I get this.
Sounds good. Looking forward to your last one.
Last one done. I cleared the ground and gathered my seeds. I tilled the earth and measured my needs. Life is like a garden. Life is like a garden. Beware the sharp and thorny stems as we pick fresh flowers for her and him. Life is like a garden. Life is like a garden. Perfect moments come and perfect moments go. After falling leaves rot, new buds will grow. Hidden inside this picturesque view, the ingredients of love, time, me and you. Life is like a garden. Life is like a garden. Life is like a garden. So thank you. That was the last thing that Leonard Nimoy tweeted before he passed away.
Oh,
He said, life is like a garden. Perfect moments can be had, but not preserved except in memory. Live long and prosper.
that's lovely.
It is.
So that's it's inspired by true life, but not a daring escape using dental floss and bed sheets.
Nimoy might have been up to the task for that, I think, but
yeah.
Well,
he did do a few albums in his time. So
I know. Bitter dregs.
Yep.
And I think he was a visual artist too, wasn't he? Or am I wrong? Yeah.
No, he was an all around art kind of person. I think. So
maybe photography I'm thinking of. I seem to remember seeing like black and white pictures that he did that were really quite lovely and stark, like really high contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good dude.
It's interesting that you both, and I'm certainly no stranger to this too, but like mind some popular culture stuff. I was going to mention the reference to unbearable light. Was it unbearable lightness of being, right? Yeah, and it's a very funny thing to say. Maybe you killed him, but I'm sure that was shocking to me though too, because I knew Kundera was still alive, and I think like, it doesn't matter who it is, anybody that's mattered to us that's involved in the arts in some way. So many of them are leaving, it's just inevitable. I guess it's no sadder if they're younger. I knew he wasn't that young. He was in his 80s, maybe.
I think he might have even been in his 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just like shock after shock. I guess there's no way of ever preparing for this stuff. But that we can borrow from things that they say or things that they've done or whatever, and then hopefully use it in a worthwhile way. And based on what I've heard, I would certainly say that you have done that very thing. I don't know that I had any lifts from anything tonight, but I loved hearing what you both did with that other source material, and just in general. I mean, I think this was a really interesting bill because you both are such careful songwriters. And Simon, I think you mentioned the melody in one of Adele's songs, but you're both really melodic writers as well. So, great stuff.
Well, that holds true for your stuff too. It's very dynamic, and it always always surprises. So your musical choices always are very complex, and I'm like, I gotta get me some of that Larry Odin music magic.
Yeah. Is it truly magic? Well, we'll call it magic. Okay. Yeah. Had you heard some things you had not heard before tonight, Simon, or is it hard to?
Yes, I have heard I had heard the dick pic, and of course, these are the things that are the easiest to remember. But
when in doubt, pull out the dick pics.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And but one thing that I did take, I'm taking with me is you guys both had a couple of different lighthearted moments, and I need to do more of that because people like to smile. they like to be tickled and amused, and it's not so that's I'll leave it there. But I loved hearing your guys' work tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Well, do either of you have anything else that you'd like to plug in particular? I mean, Adele got in the plug. I forgot that was only released on cassette, right?
It's on everywhere you stream music. It is all the places, and it's on cassette.
Yeah.
I just have 3 left, so if you want one, now's the time to go.
And strike while the iron is hot. Do either of you have anything else to plug?
I'm playing a full band show on Sunday at Porch Fest, Roscoe Village.
That's Axons.
That is a totally new band. So after using the Axons moniker for 10 years, I think I'm retiring it. Starting a new project now with same personnel I've played with for many years, but new band, new songs. Just felt like something fresh.
Oh, very cool. Do you have a name yet, or are you holding back on that? Or
well, it's 3 women in the band and 1 man, and the women are in agreement of what we should call the band, but we haven't gotten the boy on board yet. So I'll hold off on saying an official name for it.
Yeah, and I will hold off, or then again, perhaps I won't, in saying, of course, the dude is the holdup, right?
I think he can be brought along.
Okay. But wow, I'm looking forward to hearing the. I always like your stuff, but whatever the moniker is, looking forward to it. And then Simon, do you have gigs or any new music coming
Yeah, I'm working on a lot of different things, but I've been cooking. I have an easy bake oven full of songs that there's a little bit of smoke wafting in the room, so I need to make sure that they get pulled out and properly served on Chinette to my friends and family and you guys. So yeah, so I think next year is going to be a target year for me.
I love the extended metaphor there. But yet who can't grasp the notion of the easy bake oven? So you're just kind of like taking your time, letting
I'm
this stuff.
Well, I'm inspired by, that's what happens when you hang out with two poets like you guys. It's just the language becomes more interesting all around.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing whatever you come up with.
Cool. Thanks, Larry.
So I won't beleaguer this anymore, but I will say in the big picture, loved having you both. I was telling Adele that in November I think I'm going to be returning to actual in-person shows. Maybe I mentioned it to you too, Simon. I don't remember now, but it's been great to do these online shows, and I may have the ability to do special shows that are online. But I'm looking forward to getting back to actual performing, and it's I can't believe it's been that long, so hopefully our November show will be the first in-person show, and I'll talk more about that later as it gets closer to the date. But I totally appreciate you being here, totally can feel what is behind the emotion and the meaning, the whatever you want to say behind your songs in this context, and that says a lot that you're able to convey that when you're in your little cubby holes there, and talking, singing to a camera. So thank you both for doing this, and for all the times you did it in the past. I always enjoy having you.
Really appreciate you bringing us together. This was special.
So we will say sayonara as a group, and then guys just don't completely fly off, and then we'll see everybody the third Friday next month for the September edition of Folk Q. So give a wave. Thanks, Simon, Adele, and good night, everybody.